So I've been doing hella reflecting about dance, my dance journey up until this point, what I want to do or what I will do from this point forward, regrets that I have, thoughts that I have, advice that I would like to share and put out there. So that's why I'm doing this. Anybody who knows me knows that I like to talk, and you know what? Sometimes maybe it's because I just like to hear myself talk, and it is what it is, but I want to put this out there to inspire, to encourage, to help people not make the mistakes that I did in, the 10 plus years that I've been doing this. And yeah, so if this helps one person, this inspires one person, if this intrigues one person, then cool. If not, cool. um because this is what I want to do. This is what I want to share. And thus, in reflecting, like I said, my dance journey, my dance career, um, but also in life. I just turned 30 this year, and it's bittersweet. Like I started the year off with a mission for a reason. I was super dissatisfied with my performance at the world final of Red Bull Dancer Style. And, I told myself never again, bro. It it was a moment, it was an opportunity to have a moment. And immediately after the failed attempt, I beat myself up about it. I beat myself up pretty hard. It's it's not easy, like I know a lot of people always joke about like, damn, 30, and then a lot of people get here and the folks who are 30 and older are like, but we're really not that old. But the reality is you start to feel it. You start to feel, okay, I'm not 21. My body is not just bouncing back. I'm not bendy, and my energy is not what it was if I'm not actively training my body to be this competitor or artist or whatever it is that you're indulging in whenever it comes to dance. Um, it's real, like life comes at you fast. It really does. It really does. And not just physically, mentally, you're growing, maturing. Hopefully, most of us, I would hope, but you start seeing things differently. You're not as ignorant to things. And because you're not as ignorant, it's a lot harder to just waltz through life and make reckless decisions and be like, whatever, emotionally. Probably you've probably dealt with a fair number of things getting to this point, and it's not all bad, like it's not all depressing and like, damn, you get older and it's like, fuck, this nigga Dante is making it sound sound like this horrible thing that, because it's beautiful. Like the beginning of the year, like I said, I was on this mission. I was going to the gym, working out. I was in some of the best shape of my life, motivated, and it felt as I did when I was younger and I was first coming into the dance scene. You know, that kind of underdog feeling, like, okay, I got something to prove. Like, I'm trying to get here. I'm trying to do this. But it's a very different fight being a young underdog. And I say that um, very loosely. Very different fight being a young underdog versus an old underdog, an older underdog. Um, Especially whenever there's tiers, there's tiers to these things, and levels of ability and skill and knowledge, understanding, and being able to show, so clearly and obviously. There's a lot of people who would not consider me an underdog, but when I put myself in that upper echelon, and in comparison to people who compete regularly at a world class level, I feel like I'm pretty much an underdog. And there's a lot of work to be done still. There's a lot of knowledge and wisdom to be learned and to be had, um and experiences as well. So, like, going through this year, I really had a mission to make some points, not necessarily to other people, and maybe a bit to some other people, but importantly, like, to myself. Um, because if you can't be honest with yourself about where you're at and the things that you're trying to do and how to achieve that and how to get to that, I personally, I don't feel like there's a likelihood of you getting there, because there's a lack of honesty, and with that lack of honesty comes a hindrance. So I had a lot of work to do to prove what I wanted to prove, and go to these couple of events and do these things. And we're about done with the year. We're about 3/4 done with the year, and I'm still pretty fucking dissatisfied, I'm not gonna lie. Still pretty dissatisfied, like, no matter how much. And I have to learn to accept the flowers that are given to me, but as well as give myself the grace. I just I'm competitive. I'm hella competitive, and I want to leave my mark and leave an impact. I don't really care too much about the popularity. Would it be cool? Yes. Great. It would be amazing, but I don't really care too much about the popularity. I'm more concerned with leaving an impact. Um, to segue, oddly enough, like, not even oddly enough, but funny enough, um, I had a conversation with Hans, and we were in Houston. It was this year. We were in Houston for Trouble Grounds, and we were just kind of talking, similar about what I'm saying here, just reflecting and thinking about what I want to do, and leaving my mark and leave an impact. And he asked me something along the lines of, Not to quote him directly, but something along the lines of, do you feel like if you stopped today that you would have left a mark, that you would have made an impact? And it's something that I still think about regularly, because when I answered, I was like, yeah, like, I think so, but I want to leave a bigger impact. I want to leave more of a mark. And I don't know if I actually believed it at the time. I don't know how much I actually believed it at the time, because as the year continued on and the conversations that I had, it was shown to me that there had been an impact made. There had been a mark made in various places with various people. Um, and it was cool. It was cool to see and hear stories and have people approach me unprovoked. But I can't really put my finger on why it is that I still think about it so much. Like, if I stop today, have I left my mark? And maybe it's just because it's not the mark that I want to leave, or on the scale that I want, or the level of impact that I imagine. And in reflecting, I think it's hard to really grasp what sort of impact you've made while still in the process. Um, and so thinking about that and thinking about what I want to do and continue to do moving forward, it it definitely is something that's it's tough. It's tough. It's tough when you look at your peers and you see a lot of people, places doing a lot of things, and it's great. Not that I'm not, I was just in Austria, like, competing, made it to the main stage. Um, and it's so easy to look at someone else's story and someone else's race and be like, I want to run that race and I want to be in that adventure and I want to do this. And I don't really feel like that's the case with me. Like, I don't really look at anybody else and I'm like, dang, I want to do that. I want to do this. Like, dang, I wish that was me. Like, that's never really the case. It's just kind of like, I just want more for me. But the struggle is, once you get to this point, you have to start making certain decisions. Like I was saying, there's so much that changes physically, mentally, emotionally, with your relationships, with society, financially. You have to start making decisions. You can't just, and I'm not going to say you can't, because there's people that do and it works out for them. They just make an impulsive decision on a whim and go for it without any thought of the repercussions of those actions, and it works out. And there's some of us who, we get in relationships. Now we have a partner to think of. You know, what does our future look like? What do you want to do as this adult, like an adult? You're 30. You want to start a family. You want to start investing in other things. And there's just not enough time in the day for everything. You want to indulge in other hobbies and other interests. You want to travel and experience stuff while also trying to keep things separate. Because I know a lot of you that are in relationships, you can't really, you don't want to really plan trips and be like, all right, we're gonna go here for a dance event, but you can come with me and it'll be like a vacation going to dance and be around dance stuff. Like, it doesn't really work out. Not to say that it can't, but just based off of my experience, it doesn't. Um, you have to be able to separate those things, because there's a level of intimacy and mentally being checked into, like, I'm going on vacation, I'm doing this, this, that, and the third, so with that age, there comes all of these different things that you have to decide. What kind of life do you want to live moving forward? How do you make these things work? Something has to give. Um, so it makes it harder to be at every fucking event, like everywhere all the time, and there's always something. There's always something. Um, and that begs the question, like, okay, well, what is it that you want to do? And I think that's why I've been reflecting so much. I have ideas of things that I would like to do once I decide to stop actively competing. Whether or not they are realistic goals based off of the course of my life currently, hey, whatever, you know? We'll see. You know what I'm saying? We'll cross that bridge when it gets here. As I'm actively still working towards things as a competitor. But there's so much that I want to share and there's so much that I have to say. But I think this is going to have to be a series as opposed to an individual video, because I'll sit here for another 3-4 hours talking about it. I mean, I only touched base on being 30, and the things that I want to share and the purpose of me even sitting here, and just some of like the thoughts and struggle behind being at the point that I'm at now. Um so I'm definitely gonna have to run this back, but I want to still say that it's amazing. It's amazing. The the looks on people's faces whenever, we're having a conversation and be like, oh, how old are you? 30? For real? Like, yeah, how old are you? 20, 21? Hey, like, I hope I'm moving like you whenever I'm 30. I'd be like, if you keep it up and stay consistent in what you're doing and be healthy and work out and stretch, you could be far far better and mobile and all of these things than I am. Cause I be slacking. I be slacking, bro. I'm gonna be honest. I be slacking. I be bullshitting. And the truth of the matter is that for a long time I let a lot of people gas me up to the point of thinking, no, I don't have to do as much. That's just a reality. Like I'm not here to lie about anything. I've I've slacked off a lot. Even still now, like there's times where like I should be training. All right, let me go train, let me da da da. And it's not like I need to be training for something specifically and that I don't dance any other time, but there's just so many other things that I enjoy doing that if there isn't something directly in my mind like I need to be getting ready for this, I might pick up a couple audiobooks. I might I might buy a couple games. I might get back to DJing and doing that. It's like I said, you along the way, for some of us, this is not for everybody. And I mentioned this before if you follow me on Instagram. I envy people who find one thing and they're like, this is what I'm gonna do. One or two things, this is what I'm gonna do. I'll indulge in these other things very like, sprinkles on top, but this is what I'm gonna do. This is what I'm gonna invest my time and energy into. I envy the discipline to do that. I'm fucking scatterbrained. I have an idea and then another thought pops in my head. I walk into another room. Both of those things are gone, and now I'm looking at something else. And then I'll be like, why did I even come in here in the first place? So like respect to the people who can do those things. Cause me, a fucking struggle. And it's caused me to slack off, and to be where I'm at. And I have my regrets, but it's not like there's no resentment towards myself or towards anyone or like my partner or anything like that. Like I've made my decisions and I'm okay with that. I am okay with that. If I could go back and do things differently, would I? For sure. I'm not going to sit here and be like, I wouldn't change a thing. I wouldn't change my partner. Love her. I would not change, not to get the wrong idea. I would not change that, but like just how I went about certain things, how, I decided to put forth that time and effort, where I decided to go, worrying about some fucking dead end job that I'm probably going to end up quitting or getting fired from anyway. Fuck it. Take those days and go. When my boys went and had a mini Euro trip, or my boy Ricky had a mini Euro trip, I should have just been like, fuck it, I'm coming too. Fuck this job. I have regrets. I wish I did those things when I was younger. There's nothing you could do about it now. And I'm okay with the decisions that I made at the time, to put it simply. Now all I can do is try and adjust, move forward. I got another 10 years minimum gas in my tank. Like don't take this the wrong way. I got another 10 minimum. And then once I hit 40, don't let there be any other 40 and up battles like how they have for breaking at freestyle sessions. Don't let there be no 40 and up battles. I got another 10 in the tank. Easy. And I'm here for it. I'm a competitor, bro. I'm hella competitive. I hate losing. I hate it. But it's part of the game. It's part of the game. I understand that. So, yeah, man. I'm just here to talk my shit, and shoot y'all straight in a moment of reflection. So we gonna run this back for sure, cause it's so much. It's so much I want to say. So many stories I want to tell, and shit like that. But yeah, man, you already know what the fuck going on. Gang shit, no lame shit. We out.